Yowza. The last 4 days, wow. I don't know whether my last video blew up because of me or because of Anvu, but all I know is I've gotten like 200 subscribers in the last 4 days. That has never happened to me. Usually I get 4 or 5 a day, but anyway, I was content to just ride this wave of activity on my channel for a while, but I think it's now time for me to put in a statement. There are quite a few things that need to be addressed. But first and foremost, people have been asking me, what's your new channel name? I'm gonna go ahead and post it now. I was planning on revealing it in a different way, but due to recent events, I'll go ahead and announce it now. It's Elegant Girl with 2 L's. Yes, I know that's not how you spell elegant. That's a play on my name. Alright, where do I start? So many things. Question number 1. Why do you keep making videos about Anvu? Well, first of all, I've only made one that's really about her. I featured her in a previous video, and the reason she was in there is because I got a comment from somebody, I think it was Nat Turner is Alive, and he was talking about how black women are always taking on the characteristics of other races, or imitating them or whatever. So I made a rebuttal video of non-black women taking on our characteristics. But the video itself was not about her. Shortly after that video dropped, I was conversing with Captain Solo, and he informed me of the comment she made about the yellow skin. And I was like, oh really? The rest is history. Point 2. You want to disqualify her from talking about black topics just because she's Asian. No, that's not what I said in the video. If you go back and listen to the video, you will hear me say that my first knee-jerk reaction was, why is this Asian girl talking about black issues? But then I said I try to keep my emotions in check and give her the benefit of the doubt, and if black people are willing to listen to her, then I'm not going to knock her hustle. But then if she's going to go and say something that I know not to be true, sidebar, the whole reason why an Asian person might not be the best person to speak on black issues is because they're on the outside. And it doesn't matter how many black men they sleep with, they're still not black. It doesn't matter how many Asian men I sleep with. I don't know what it's like to be Asian. This is not a foreign concept. You guys understand this very well, but you're too wrapped up in trying to defend her. But if you could take your tongues out of her crack for just 1 second, obviously it's not the best case scenario to have somebody from the outside speaking about the inside, especially if they don't know what they're talking about. And these black men who are defending her actually do understand this concept. Because on that ABC special that was hosted by a white woman and she started running down all those negative stats about black men, what was the first thing out of many of their mouths? Why is this white bitch all up in our business? Now, if Anvu wasn't saying what you wanted to hear and stroking your egos, would you still say she was qualified to speak on black issues? Her saying what you want to hear does not qualify her. She is still an outsider, just like Paula Zahn or whatever her name was. If she wants to talk on black issues, that's fine. But if she says something that's not true, I can question her on it. So please don't act like it's a foreign concept that people on the inside don't want to hear false comments or negative comments from people on the outside. Y'all know damn well if a white man had a show that was stroking the egos of black women and he was talking to black men like, well, if you just pull up your pants and cut your hair and stop talking all this slang, go to school, get your education, you'd do a lot better. Y'all know damn well y'all be fixing your foot to go straight up his ass. So don't give me that bullshit. Point 3. People asking me how I know she's faking her accent. What? I never said she was faking anything. I don't have an opinion either way on whether or not she's faking. I don't care. And I never said that I disliked the way she talked or that I wish she'd stop. All I said was, if she's gonna talk like that, then she should get used to people asking her why she's talking black, and not act like she doesn't know what they're talking about. Me, myself, some people on the phone think that I'm white. People have even left comments or sent me private messages saying that I didn't know you weren't white until you said you weren't. When people say that to me, I don't need to come back with some politically correct guilt trip, oh, why do I sound white, because I speak proper? No, I understand that my diction is atypical for African Americans. Then I had some dude, I ain't gonna say his name, but he said, well, maybe she talks urban or in a hip-hop style, but not black. Now that's a facepalm moment if I've ever heard one. Number 1, urban is code word for black, and hip-hop was invented by black folks. Please do not separate black folks from hip-hop just to defend some non-black woman. This man is willing to give away a part of our history, a part of our culture, just so this Asian woman doesn't have to suffer the discomfort of being accused of talking black. Can somebody go get me a rock to crawl under? I gotta be in the same race with this dude? Just gonna give away our culture over her. These are the type of dudes that want everybody to think you can make black children without black women. Point number 4, I think. Some people said that I called Anvu a wigger. Well, that just wouldn't make any sense because wiggers are white. She's Asian. Then why does the title say the wigger advantage? Because wigger is a recognized term for the phenomenon I was describing. Next point, people asking me, why are you worried about what she's saying? Does she have anything to do with your life? Yada yada yada. That does seem like a very valid point, except that I could ask you the same thing. Why are you worried about what I'm saying? She can say what she want to say, and I can say what I want to say about what she's saying. Now that we got that out the way, do you have any real questions? Next point. People asked why I didn't contact her and ask her about what she said rather than make this video. I don't know her. How am I going to contact her? And before you even open your mouth and say something silly like, oh, you could have sent her an email. Now you know damn well, if you got any more than just a few hundred viewers, you can't answer all the emails. Right now, I got 844 messages sitting in my inbox that I ain't even opened yet. And it's not that I don't want to answer each and every one. I can't. I don't have time. So you know that between people trying to ask her little silly questions or ask her advice or dudes trying to holler, that she ain't hardly gonna get my message. Next point, and this one really don't make sense. You gave Black Indigo a pass, but you're jumping all over this Asian chick. First of all, the point of my video, which I said over and over again, was her contradicting herself. Now, I also said in my Black Indigo video that the way she was living her life did not seem to match up with what she was saying in her videos. I clearly said that. And also, I would like to introduce into evidence that I made 2 videos, count them, 2 videos about my mother denouncing her actions when it came to how I came into the world. She's a black woman and she's my mother. So don't give me this stuff about, oh, I dismiss what black women do, but I jump all over non-black women. Bullshit. Next point, the hater accusations. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Now, it appears to me that Anvu fancies herself to be some kind of a talk show host. She got her little talk show going on right there. And we all know that the point of a talk show is to have all one viewpoint, right? Yeah, we're going to have a talk show about why black women have a harder time finding men, and we're going to blame it all on them and say it has nothing to do with color. And then I come in and disagree with that, and I say that I don't even think you agree with that, and I'm a hater? You're going to have a talk show with no opposing viewpoints, but yet you want to call it nothing but the truth. I'm going to need you to get on out of here with that. People disagree with me all the time. I don't call them haters. I just address what they say. Calling people haters is a good way to avoid any criticism, even if it's constructive. And people, mostly men, have accused me of being jealous of her, but most of them just stop there. They say I'm jealous of her. They don't say what about her. A few people have said, oh, you're jealous because she's hot, or you're jealous because she looks better than you. I like how people say that when they have not seen me. When they say stuff like that, they're telling on themselves. Second of all, I am well aware that there are non-black women who are more beautiful than I am. Megan Fox is prettier than I am. Have I made a video about her? No, but if she had a talk show and call herself talking about black women, but saying color has nothing to do with it, I just might. Next point, the only reason to be envious of another female's looks is if you're in competition with her. I am not. I am already married. We don't like the same type of men, and I'm already married. I prefer men who are between the ages of 40 and 50 years old. Yes, I put a lot of hot young tater tots on the background of my channel. That's because they're nice to look at. But when it comes to what I want to marry, what I want at home with me, that's not my preference. Yes, I'd like a decent looking guy, but a pretty boy, that doesn't blow my skirt up. Next of all, black women as a whole may not have as many admirers as women of other races, but we do have our admirers. When I went to Mexico for study abroad, I went there with 13 other students, and about half of them were female, and they were all white. Now, when we all went out together to the discotheque, yes, admittedly, it was harder for me. The Mexican boys would pretty much be trying to get at them as soon as they walked in the door. They always had plenty of attention. But you know what? There would always be 2 or 3 guys who would come straight to me, wanted to know about me, wanted my number. Now, I get plenty of people to dance with me. Dancing ain't no big thing. People dance with anybody and everybody. But as far as guys who actually wanted to holler, I'd have about 2 or 3 with the white girls around. I mean, how many men can you pay attention to at one time anyway? And the fact that some of those girls had 10 guys around them and I had 3, she pick who she want from her 10, I pick who I want from my 3. We both end up with a man at the end of the night. And I ain't talking about fucking nobody either. Bottom line is, we have our fans. And just because you don't see how anybody would pick a black woman over a non-black woman, that doesn't mean everybody else feels like that. The only thing I envy about Anvu is I want to do what she's doing for a living. I want to have a talk show with no opposing viewpoints. I'm playing around. But it's not just her. I'd like to do what Chanel Cooper Sykes does, what Lydia Cotton does, what Shay Date Diva does. It's not just her. Next point, Anvu has said she's going to address my video and a few other people on her show Tuesday night, and that haters is going to be somewhere in the title. Now mark my words, you heard it here first. I sincerely doubt she's going to address the subject matter of my video. Instead, she's going to tell everybody how I'm lonely and bitter and haven't had any dick in a long time, and that I'm upset because she's dating a black guy. Now I know she does get hated on a lot by black women because of her relationship, but I guarantee you 99.999% of those women are single. I am married to a wonderful guy who loves me and he's an engineer. What possible problem could I have with your relationship? I am interracially married myself. It would be hypocritical for me to have a problem with your relationship based on race. Her boiling everything I said down in that video to me not liking her having a black boyfriend is a deflection. It never fails. If a non-black woman is dating a black guy and you say anything to them that they don't like, they go straight to that. It doesn't matter what you say, true or not, constructive or not. They call you a hater. Now, she did leave a comment asking me why I said that she didn't stand out in a group of Asians. She took that like I was dissing her looks. How could she possibly think that when I said she was cute? Cute still doesn't mean you're going to stand out in a group of women who have very similar features to yours. You have to be exceptional to stand out in a crowd. If you're cute, but not exceptional, then if you go to a different pool of women where they don't look like you, you stand out more. That's all I was saying. Another thing, she seemed to be more interested in answering comments from women who were cussing her out and calling her racial slurs than she was me. I'm the one who made the video, and I wasn't disrespecting her. I responded nothing but respectfully to her comments. She left a comment in which she called me dumb, thinking that was going to pop me off and I was going to start cussing her out, and then she would be able to write me off as a belligerent black woman. But I didn't bite. I just came back and said, "Why are you cussing at me? Why are you speaking to me disrespectfully when I've done nothing but speak to you respectfully in this comment section?" You think she responded to that post? Of course not. She went back to responding to the women who were calling her gook and chink and bitch. And she's gonna try to pretend like I'm in with them so she doesn't have to deal with what I said. And also there are a couple of video responses to my video that of course didn't deal with the subject matter either. One thing I always find funny is when some black men start giving unsolicited advice about how to get a black man. What are you, schizophrenic? I'm married. Did you hear me say anything in the video about how do I get a black guy? That has nothing to do with the subject matter of the video, bro. Next point, I understand why a lot of black men are hesitant to acknowledge the color thing. They don't want black women to take it and run with it and use it for an excuse rather than fixing the things that are wrong with them. I understand that, but when you insist on bringing other women into a discussion between black women and black men about black women and black men, then color becomes relevant. If black women need to fix something, then just talk about what they need to fix. If you think talking about colorism is going to make black women deflect, then why do you bring up other women when that makes black women deflect too? They say, oh, you just wanted them anyway. So you'll overlook it if bringing up other women causes black women to deflect, but you can't talk about colorism for the same reason? Come off it. You're not worried about deflection. But anyway, I'm married.